Before we continue with this video, check out this information that GE just released. Leticia Marquez just released it on GE. About the negotiation for Felipe Luis's contract renewal, there's a deadlock involving coach Felipe Luis's renewal. Felipe Luis and his agent presented to Flamengo's management the values and terms they want for the contract renewal. Initially, the club considered the figures to be high. Flamengo considered Felipe Luis's renewal request to be high, according to Globo Esporte. Because of this, the board intends to make a counteroffer to seek a happy ending for both parties. I believe in that. The atmosphere of the negotiations is positive, and on Flamengo's side, there is confidence that the renewal will be finalized soon, but there is a deadlock over the amount. The amount requested by the agent of the former player, current Flamengo coach, who has been with Flamengo for just over a year, was considered high. So the asking price was high. The talks indicate a possible extension until the end of 27, although an agreement for just one more year is also on the table. The definition of the release clause, especially aimed at the European market, is another point to be adjusted. So Leticia Marquez and Mariana Sa bringing this information, Mariana Sa also bringing this information together with Leticia. Credit given. Flamengo then is seeking an agreement with Felipe Luis. The request was made, but they believe in a middle ground and a contract until 2027 is possible. And also this matter of adjusting the release clause for European football to protect themselves, because every time Flamengo wins a title, on top of that, there will be even more interest from European football. Hey guys, red black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. Good morning. It's been a busy week, a week with games, right? The Federation Internationale de Football Association break is almost over, and we have Flamengo back on the field on the same day that Palmeiras is also playing. So Flamengo will be playing a derby against Botafogo. Let me correct myself. I said Thursday, but I don't know why or where I got Thursday from. The Flamengo game is actually on Wednesday at 6:30 post-Meridiem here in the United States and at 7:30 post-Meridiem in Brazil. And the Palmeiras game is at 7 post-Meridiem on the same Wednesday against Bragantino. So it's an important round. By the way, we're going to talk about a lot of things here regarding news about Mengao, all these prediction games, the Wizards, and the forecasts, right? Palmeiras is already given a 70% chance. We're going to talk about all of that. I was saying the Flamengo versus Botafogo game is at 7:30 p.m. and Palmeiras faces Red Bull Bragantino in a tough match. Yes, sir. 6 o'clock here and 7 at night in Brazil, okay? So Palmeiras plays a little earlier. They could even open up a 6-point lead over Flamengo and then wait for Flamengo's result. The Flamengo game is at nearly the same time, but the Palmeiras game ends 30 minutes earlier. So just like Palmeiras could let Flamengo catch up to the same points again, they could also pull ahead, right? They could increase the lead by 1 point. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. There could be a draw between Flamengo and Red Bull. Bragantino and Flamengo play against Botafogo, needing to win to catch up again with Botafogo and Palmeiras. Flamengo must beat Botafogo to match Palmeiras. Stay 1 point behind Palmeiras to play the National Classic Flamengo versus Palmeiras at Maracanã with a chance to overtake Palmeiras. So that's why this round is very important. Because depending on the situation, either Palmeiras pulls far ahead or Flamengo can overtake Palmeiras again. If Palmeiras and Red Bull Bragantino draw and Flamengo beats Botafogo, Flamengo will have a full chance again. And you see, just one game, one round, and they already give Palmeiras a 70% chance, then I'm even going to react here. Take a look at Flamengo's upcoming matches, just to let you know Flamengo's next games. In the Brazilian Championship, Flamengo now faces Botafogo, then faces Palmeiras, then Flamengo, but in that interval, Flamengo also, then Flamengo faces Palmeiras. No, right after, on the 22nd, on the 19th, they play Palmeiras. Then it's already on Sunday now. Then Flamengo faces Racing, okay? On the 22nd. Depending on the Palmeiras result, Flamengo will face Racing at Maracanã on the 22nd with confidence. Then it's Fortaleza away. Then they face Racing again in Argentina. They could secure a spot in the Libertadores final. Then they face Sport at home, São Paulo away, Santos at home, and Sport away, which is a game that's... There's something I want to talk to you about now, something crazy that's happening. Then Fluminense in a classic at Maracanã, Bragantino away, Atlético Mineiro, Bragantino at home. Sorry, Atlético Mineiro away. They face Ceará at home and Mirassol away, okay? So Flamengo finishes the championship by facing Mirassol away. I'm going to get Palmeiras matches here so we can look at them round by round and see that nothing is really decided yet. Okay, look. Palmeiras faces Bragantino this Wednesday and then faces Flamengo at Maracanã. Liga Deportiva Universitaria in 5th. Then they come back to Brazil to face Cruzeiro at home. And then Liga Deportiva Universitaria at home. Then they play against Juventude away, which they won, scored 4 goals. Juventude is desperate, trying to avoid relegation. But this time, Juventude will be playing at home, there at Alfredo Jaconi. Then, Palmeiras faces Santos at home and Mirassol away. Look at this game here. Turn on the switch. This game here, Santos away. Look at that. Atlético Mineiro away. Then, Palmeiras plays Fluminense at home, fighting for the G4, but Fluminense never helps Flamengo. I'm just letting you know. They play Grêmio away, who's fighting relegation, and Vitória at home, right? Easier match. A game that's supposed to be easier, and Palmeiras finishes by facing Ceará. Maybe there too, fighting for something to avoid relegation. Not sure. Away from home. Yeah. There's a stretch here where Palmeiras had a few home games in a row. Now, Palmeiras has a stretch of away games, which are Mirassol, Santos, and Atlético Mineiro away. That's 3 games, and they're all away, okay? So that's what I'm saying. The championship is tough for both teams. It's complicated for both. And there's still Cruzeiro in this equation, right? Cruzeiro could also make it. It's about getting closer. For example, look at this. Stop and think. Palmeiras loses to Bragantino or draws with Flamengo. Let's say Palmeiras loses to Bragantino and Flamengo draws with Botafogo. Flamengo trails Palmeiras by 2 points. Palmeiras loses to Bragantino. Flamengo ties Botafogo. Flamengo is 2 points behind Palmeiras. They play against Palmeiras at Maracanã. They can move ahead if they win. Suppose everything goes wrong and they just tie the game. They can't even lose. Then we have Palmeiras losing 5 points in 2 rounds and Flamengo losing 4 points in 2 rounds. Cruzeiro wins both. Everything got close again. So I'm not sure Cruzeiro has it. Maybe just a few percent. Cruzeiro plays Palmeiras, right? Cruzeiro faces Palmeiras. I already said it. In a little while, there are just a few rounds left for Cruzeiro to face Palmeiras. So anything is possible. Now, I'm going to tell you here that the witch from Racing would be on the loose. A Racing starter left the field in tears and is now doubtful for Flamengo, so Gabriel Rojas, my namesake, may play. With that, he already has several players. There's Elias Torres, Franco Pardo. They have them there. Racing's medical department is still working to recover 3 other injured players. Santiago Sousa, Juan Nardone, and Alan Fornires have been kept out and still aren't guaranteed to play against Flamengo. They already have many players in the medical department, and now 3 or 4 more have shown up. People are now saying there's a curse over there. Stay alert, because that could just be a story too, okay? I don't trust anything. For me, that could be right. Bluff, that could be a bluff from Racing. What do you guys think? I think there's a bluff from Racing there, okay? Honestly, I think there's a bluff from Racing. I wouldn't be so sure about that news, about so many absences at Racing Club. Look, we had Felipe Luis's coach analyzing the beginning of the Flamengo coach's journey. Say, Guzman, man, check this out. He said the following on Basticast. Felipe got his A license in December 23. I had the opportunity for this exchange of experience. What do the athletes bring from their own experiences? He was in a moment of transition. Today, I evaluated his work as very good. He has matured. He has been preparing himself throughout his career. He knows very well where he is. He knows what Flamengo's culture is. He has representativeness with the group. He was careful in choosing the professionals who are by his side. Felipe has been shaping things so that the team complements his ideas. It encompasses all his education and beliefs, impacting the group, coaching staff, and fans. Most importantly, delivering results. Yeah, but you can't make things up. You can't have Moja Felipe. You have to come with Luis Araujo and Pedro. As I've mentioned, Flamengo's top attacking stats belong to Arrascaeta, Luis Araujo, and Pedro. You can't change that. Flamengo especially needs its top players on the field against Botafogo and Palmeiras. We can't hesitate about that. Look, we had here that the sport fans will be one of Flamengo's opponents. Flamengo faces Sport twice, but the game over there, sport fans are threatening zero attendance if the match against Flamengo is held at Arena Pernambuco. Are Flamengo fans reacting even better? Johnny Pontes, sell all the tickets to us. Dwarf team is F. The official Dijon, official Dijons, official Dijonas. If you give everything to Flamengo, it'll be packed. I have no doubt about it. Fagner Catano, in a few years, this weak team will say they were champions in this game. That's true. So the match will be played at first at Arena Pernambuco and not at Ilha do Retiro. In their official statement, Pernambuco supporters groups defended the motto Ilha Lotada ou Arena Vazia, packed Ilha or empty arena, saying they will skip the game unless it is held at Ilha do Retiro. So the sport fans are upset with this decision. Yeah, we also have to talk about bringing Flamengo's schedule here, right? Flamengo trains at 9:30 a.m. today. We're recording this during their training. Tuesday session is at 3:30, right? At the Ninho do Urubu Training Center, Jorge Helal. On Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., Flamengo plays Botafogo at Engenhão with Botafogo hosting. And then Flamengo trains Thursday at 3:30 in the afternoon, Friday at 9:30 in the morning, and Saturday at 9:30 in the morning. And on Sunday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they face Palmeiras at Maracanã. That's Flamengo's schedule. And I want to take this opportunity to bring up what Mauro César said about the mathematicians, right? Mauro César tore apart those mathematicians who think they know everything. I've already mentioned Gato Mestre, Gato Pardo, man, that's crazy, right? They always know everything, right? They predicted Palmeiras would beat Flamengo 7-0 in the first round, but Flamengo won, proving the commentators wrong. No one believed in Flamengo, right? Those guys from Globo Esporte. But Mauro César talked about it. And before I bring up what Mauro said, I wanted to say that I saw what Raiza said. I really agree with her. There are already a lot of fans losing faith in Flamengo in the championship, as if Flamengo has already given up. Man, that's crazy. Even Petkovic himself mentioned yesterday how he still believes in a turnaround, especially since the championship is still open. Have you ever seen anything like this? Assuming Palmeiras will be champions just because they're 3 points ahead, people are giving up too soon. That doesn't exist, right? Flamengo fans themselves believe until the end. And even Mauro César, look at what he said here. I'll quote Mauro César. Okay, look here. If Palmeiras slips against Bragantino and Flamengo beats Botafogo, it becomes 70-50. That's nonsense, right? I just said that. That's what I just said. Then he goes and says this. Look, in the 2023 Brasileirão, in the 26th round, Botafogo had an 11-point lead over Palmeiras. Focusing on the last two championships, from round 26 to 33, that's 7 rounds. Those 11 points shrank to just 1, with Botafogo only 1 point ahead of Palmeiras. Yeah. By round 34, Palmeiras led by 1 point. By round 36, their lead was 3 points. And in the last round, they became champions with a 6-point lead over Botafogo, who finished 5th. But Botafogo choked. So let's go to 2024, switching the roles. In the 26th round, Botafogo was 3 points ahead of Palmeiras. In the 33rd, Botafogo increased it to 4 points. In the 35th, they were tied. In the 36th round, Botafogo opened up a 3-point lead by winning at Allianz Parque. And in the end, they became champions with a 6-point lead over Palmeiras. Guys, there are 12 games left. That's a lot. So it's pointless to guess the champion now. It's silly, right? Is it? There's still a lot to happen. We had a long break, and Palmeiras missed players due to call-ups. But they were lucky to face Juventude, one of the worst teams in the Brasileirão. Now, there will be a direct match between the two, and not even this game will decide the championship. That's true. If both win or draw in the next round and arrive at Maracanã next week with the same 3-point gap and draw again, nothing will be decided yet. A 3-point lead isn't really a gap, it's just one round. Yeah, there's still so much that can happen. Yeah. One thing I don't like is when the league with a point system has barely started, like around the 3rd round, and people already want to predict the ending. Yeah, it's like the guy goes to the movies just to wait for people coming out and ask them how the movie ends. Yeah, man, is that it? Mauro was perfect on that one, right? Yeah, Mauro was perfect on that. So we have to be careful not to listen to these people too much. Yeah. The calculator wizards, right? They usually get it wrong. He cited 2 examples from the last 2 Brazilian championships. Everyone was saying that Botafogo was already the champion. Palmeiras was champion in April. Everyone was also saying that Palmeiras was overtaking Botafogo. Botafogo was choking again. They gave Palmeiras 60%. When Palmeiras faced Botafogo, Botafogo went there and ended up champion, challenging those who had already crowned Palmeiras champions again. Then Botafogo went there, proved everyone wrong, and became champion, opening up a 6-point lead. So guys, if we're going to keep believing these mathematicians, then these so-called experts, these so-called masters, that's even worse, right? Those guys are a joke. And look, I'm going to talk here about an important situation, man. I already talked about it yesterday. Yesterday, I criticized the issue of attacking a player because he was at the UFC watching a fight. A day before the day off, and the day off was given by the coaching staff, the club itself gave the day off. The player shouldn't be judged for watching a fight on his day off, or he went out to dinner with his family. Oh, but the team lost. Man, it's his day off. He can do whatever he wants. And now we had the newspaper, Odia, bringing the information. And Vene Casagrande vehemently denied the article from the newspaper, Odia. Man, they're trying to create something. It's not possible. They're already trying to create a crisis. Exactly in the week when Flamengo has a game again, they had 10 quiet days. Federación Internacional, the Football Association break and all. With the Flamengo versus Botafogo derby about to start, everyone already wants to stir things up. Crisis. Oh, because Pedro and Felipe fought again. Man, we're not going to accept this joke. Come on. We're not going to accept this, man, right? So here's the thing, okay? Felipe, Luis, and Pedro fought again. Of course not, man. Of course not, dude. That's just nonsense, right? According to journalist René Casagrande, there is no conflict between the coach and the striker. The squad atmosphere is stable and normal. Okay, so did he say it here, huh? There's no bad atmosphere or internal crisis between the parties. Why do they make these reports, man, right? He also said that the board and the coaching staff have complete confidence in the group and remain focused on the rest of the season. The recent results haven't been good, but the atmosphere is one of work and focus. There's nothing like previous crises. That's right, man. It seems like they feed off of this, man. What's this need, man? It's surreal. So I've already said here that, in my opinion, Felipe Luis should use Pedro and Luis Araujo in the team, right? They currently have the best numbers. And then there's information from Julio Miguel Neto, which even Renato Mauricio Prado brought up, that Felipe Luis trained with Bruno Henrique instead of Pedro. Samuel Lino and Carrascal. I would go with Samuel Lino Plata or Luis Araujo and Pedro. Well, I've already said that here, right? My opinion, I have my opinion. I have the right to have my opinion, okay? And then we also have Flamengo, right? So just waiting, right? The news also came out that Flamengo is waiting for an offer to sell Michael, okay? We always say we consider everything for Flamengo's attack, but we don't really think about Michael anymore, do we? So Flamengo, while looking for reinforcements, will look for a goalkeeper. Since Matheus Cunha is leaving, we'll look for a defender. We've already mentioned that here. Flamengo is also waiting for offers for Michael. Yeah, we have other players who could be negotiated, like Cebolinha, right? There are other players who might end up being negotiated. There's Ayrton Lucas, right? Him too. If a good offer comes in, he could leave. Flamengo has 3 left backs. So Flamengo is keeping an eye on the market and also waiting for offers that might eventually come in. So we bring this up here as well so we can wrap things up. That BAPE envisions Maracanã as the Wembley of Rio, right? The Wembley of Rio, while Flamengo moves forward with the Gasometro project, okay? Maracanã should be Rio de Janeiro's Wembley. Wembley is historic. 32 years ago, people were saying, let's tear down Wembley. It has no purpose. It's old, right? And then what did he say? Architecturally, it wasn't a beautiful stadium. Access was poor and it lacked attractions. A situation that was comparatively much worse than what Maracanã has. So Wembley is the brand. It's just a brand and nothing more. Maracanã is a brand that has something extra. Okay? So even when comparing it to Wembley, that's what he says. Flamengo is not the only one dreaming of building a stadium. Regarding your experience at Maracanã, being registered is better. BAPE wants to improve, including the Maracanã experience, so we've been working on this process. You're right when we talk about the set of services you can have at Maracanã. We enhance the experience for visitors. Okay, so is BAPE speaking? About the Maracanã. Actually, the Maracanã isn't excluded in this whole situation of having 2 stadiums and all. You don't need to destroy the Maracanã to build a new stadium. The Maracanã can and should remain. I invite you to check out all our sponsors in the pinned comment. I also invite you to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and leave a like on the video. Comment, well, Papa, I watched all 23 minutes until the end. Some people watch it. How do you do it? Set it to 1.5x speed. Do you set it to 2.0 speed? Can you watch it at 2x? Tell me here. I'm curious about that. Can you understand me? Big hug and red black greetings. This is Flamengo. Thanks.